All right. All right. So congratulations once again, Marian. We are happy for you. We're looking forward to your success. And of course, we know that you can always reach out wherever you're stuck, and we'll be glad to help you move forward with it. Okay.
Great.
All
Sorry,
right.
sorry to cut you in. I forgot to mention I had my incorporated before we started this, and we'll talk about it later.
Ah, good, good. So we will want to hear about what product or what services you're providing as well, so that we can know who needs that services in here and we can all leverage ourselves. Thanks, Bolaji, for sharing
Yeah,
that.
I'll give you an
Now,
update on that. Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, also, we're going to be having a special session on 7/5, which is July 5th. It's a Tuesday. Prior to that time, we're going to run through the theory of business accounting, which means what do you need as a business owner when it comes to managing your business account. Now, once we are done with that theory session, I have a special friend and partner and small business consultant, Rich Crebill, who we have worked together in time past, who is going to be walking us through the use of QuickBooks. Now, it's an introduction to QuickBooks where you will be able to learn the functionality of how you can use QuickBooks to successfully run your business account and be able to guide you through how to run effectively. Now, Rich and I are both um, QuickBooks Pro Advisor, and we have worked together on different projects over the last 2.5 years. And he's a very great guy who we are all going to be able to learn a lot from. So I'm just giving you a heads up that if you're going to miss any session, that is not a session that you will miss because it's going to be the bedrock of you keeping an account. Now, when it comes to when starting a business, as much as it allows you to be able to run your life however you want it, it allows you to be able to run your business however you want it. You have a fiduciary responsibility to the government in terms of filing your taxes. And in order for you to be able to file your taxes appropriately, it means you need to be able to keep proper books of record or proper record of your books. Now, I know that you all are not accountants, and it may be a struggle for you to be able to keep tab of how this is how much I spent this, this is when I spent it. The least that you can do is that you have a bank account specifically for the business, and every intake and outflow is done directly in the account. I tell people avoid making cash withdrawals from the business. It's messy and it will make you look unprofessional if at any point you get audited by the IRS. Now, God forbid, even the businesses that are making $100,000 and more don't get audited by IRS, but you never can tell. It doesn't matter whether you are making $10,000 an annum per annum now, or 20,000, or even $6,000. What I want you to cultivate as a business owner or a small business owner is learn to do the business the way you would do it when you hit the millions while you're still at the hundreds. That way, it becomes a norm, it becomes an habit that you're going to carry into when your business gets to that level. That is my prayer for you, but I want you to take note that you cannot afford to run this business like you are doing a family thing. It has to be as professional as possible. Now, there's nothing stopping you from spending the money anyhow you want. And when I say anyhow you want to buy gas in the car. Nobody is telling you not to buy gas. It's part of business expense. You want to buy shoes, you want to buy shirts, you want to buy pants. All of these transactions are permissible under the business and filing your taxes. But what you want to get away from is taking money for personal use without any trace. Now, if you need money, so let me say, for instance, Marian E. Miller LLC has $10,000 in the account. Now, Marian needs some money for personal things, right? Now, why shouldn't Marian take money from the business account to take care of personal things? There's nothing stopping you. There are two ways to do this. I'll advise Marian to either transfer the money directly from the business account into the personal account. And while you're doing the electronic transfer, make sure that you put a description there, whatever it is that you're using it for, and transfer the money. Now, if we're keeping the books of the company and we see that kind of transaction, we typically call that kind of transaction owner's draw. And that's meaning that the owner of this business needed money and took money from the business and put it into the personal account. You are the business is you. As much as we like for you to be able to delineate responsibilities between the business and your individual self, there are some co-mingling that happens in some instances. But what I don't want to see is you withdrawing, going to the ATM or going directly inside the bank to go withdraw money. It is bad business practice. If you have a check for your business, write a check to yourself, put it directly into your bank account, and you're good to go. By the time the transaction will be classified, it will be considered what we call an owner's draw. So two things that I want us to talk through today, but before I go into those things, does anyone have a question on what we have gone through so far, or where we started from, where we are right now? What questions do you have that we can answer for you?
Hi, I wanted to confirm, you said something about the owner's draw. So is it better to make all those expenses on the business account? Okay, like you said, I want to buy shoes, I want to buy for gas, I want to pay hospital bills, all those stuff. Should I just pay through the account, or
Yes.
should I? Okay, so
Now,
instead of doing an owner's draw.
Yes, so any transaction that you want to make, you are able to make it directly from the bank account. And as time goes on, when we go into the theory of business accounting, I'll be able to tell you all the different kinds of transactions that, all the different types of classifications that are available. Now, if you go to a CVS pharmacy to buy things, it's considered medical expenses. If you buy gas into the car, or you fix the car, buy tires or something. No, let me do this. When you buy gas into the car, you pay toll, you pay for parking. Those kind of transactions are considered gas and transportation. Let's say the car hit the rock, you have to fix it. It's a transaction that is considered as repairs and maintenance. Okay? Now, let's say you're buying, you have a phone, you decided to start making the payment of the phone directly from your business account. It is considered telephone expenses. Now, you have a car, the car is in your personal name. However, the car is being used for business transactions or business moves. That car can be the responsibility for the car note can be taken up by the business. It is considered a business asset, and definitely the business, as long as the business can cater for the expenses, those kind of transactions can be absorbed by the business. It's paying for the car note because the car is being used for the business. Now, at the end of the year, what you'll be able to realize and say is that you have been able to capture all your transactions and categorize them appropriately, and you are able to take deductions on all of them by the time we are filing your taxes. But it starts from you keeping a proper record. If you are not keeping your account like an accountant, the worst that you can do is make sure that all the transactions that you're doing all through the year are coming directly from the bank account, such that if you get someone like me who is going to help you put the accounts together for tax filing purposes, I'll be able to see all those charges, and I'll be able to see the reasons why they are there.
Okay, so what would be an outrageous expense? What would be an outrageous expense on a business account?
So withdrawals without description will be a transaction that will be outrageous, because what that means is that you are taking money indiscriminately with no proper records. And that is the only thing. So now anything that will be considered outrageous will be something like the business made $2,000 in this particular month. And for whatever reason, you have a credit card on the business and you're spending almost $6,000 in each month. Now, it means that you're at a deficit of about $4,000 every month. How do you want to cater for that? It means that you're not running the business properly. If the income of the business is $2,000, your expenses should not be more than $2,000, because the whole idea is for you to be able to earn profit. If you cannot earn profit, then you're running the business down gradually. So consider any transaction that is not helping the business grow an outrageous transaction. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Any other question?
Yes, I'd like to ask one, please.
Sure, go ahead.
So, I know there's some things I need to get started. I've been, my laptop is older, and so I would like a new laptop so I can put the new apps on there that I need for the business. Would it be wise for me to use my money now, go buy the laptop, or either wait to get the business on and then to get like business cards and a laptop and things that I need for the business?
Okay.
And
So
then pay it
go
back.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then what, make sure I'm keeping account of all the receipts and things so that then they can, I guess the business can pay me back.
So the answer to your question, the short answer is yes. The business can pay you back if and when the money is available. At the
Right.
initial instance, you can use your personal money, which will be considered a startup cost right now. All I will advise you to do, as you rightly mentioned, keep a tab of all the transactions. And honestly, whatever it is that you spent in registering the business is a business expense that needs to be covered. So if you want that back at some point when the business begins to make money, you can take that as it's an owner's draw. Because right now, the money that you use in registering the business is considered an owner's investment. The money that you use in buying a computer is considered an owner's investment. But that particular computer will be determined or classified as an asset. Computer and equipment, an asset for the business. And if and when the business makes money enough for you to be able to take this money back, all you're gonna do is take your $250 or your $700, pay it to yourself, and put a description there, so that by the time the account will be created, that $750 will be classified as fixed asset towards the purchase of the business computer or laptop.
Okay, great. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? All right, so today we're going to be talking about business credit. And just the same way we have personal credit or personal credit scores, businesses do have credit scores too. And it is the bedrock for which you will be able to access finance from individuals or organizations who are willing to support. Now, think about it this way. You're applying to someone who doesn't know you. What do you think they need to be able to ascertain that you are creditworthy in this American time of today?
First name, birthday, social,
And your
a
credit score.
legal address. stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
Now,
and then your
all of those are your personal information. Does your legal name confirm whether you are credit worthy or not? Does your home address automatically says you're credit worthy?
I guess not.
Highly nature,
What about your like your how you
EIN.
spend your money over time? Your records, the records of how you spend money over time.
Now, the record of how you spend money over time, they don't have access to it unless they ask for it and you provide it to them.
Okay, then I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know too.
So, what determines whether you're credit worthy or not is your credit report.
Okay.
And that's why they will tell you you need to guide and protect your credit score or your credit report. Because,
Excuse me, is that your personal credit report?
so right now I'm talking about personal credit report now.
Oh, okay.
And that's what makes you credit worthy. Because by the time I look at your credit report and I see delinquent accounts, and what do I call delinquent account? It means that you have a credit card that you're not paying as you should, or maybe you have missed several payments on your credit card, or maybe you missed a payment on your car note. Things that are derogatory are the things that are going to affect you as an individual. And by the time I'm seeing your credit report, I can almost say whether this person is credit worthy or not. It's the same thing when it comes to business credit or business credit score. By the time you're applying for a credit card, the business who is going to be either business credit card or a line of credit, the business who is going to be reviewing you to determine whether you are eligible for that amount is going to be looking out for some things. What is this business credit score? Who is the person behind this business? What kind of credit accounts do they have already? How are they faring with it? And that's why it's important that you make sure that the way you are guarding your personal credit score or your personal credit profile is the same way you're going to guard your business credit profile. And while Experian, TransUnion, Innovis are the three major credit bureau companies that guide personal credit score, Dun and Bradstreet is the single company that manages business credit. Now, some of us or a lot of people get lucky by not creating a Dun and Bradstreet account, but get a business credit card. And this is how that happens. If you have a business account with, let's say, just the same way Ruth and Marian opened up their opened up their business now, and they decided to go to a Bank of America or a Chase Bank to open their business account. There is a score, an aggregate score that the banks use. They call it the FICO score. Okay. The FICO score is what the banks use to determine your eligibility for a credit. The moment you start a business with them, they will begin to see how much deposit you're putting in there, how much of the withdrawals you're doing, how are you managing this account, is there any overdraft issues on your account, is there any suspicious activity, is there any kind of money laundering activities going on? If there's nothing like that, month in, month out, year in, year out, they begin to build something for you that is called the FICO score. And at some point, you will realize that if you have a bank account, 1 year, 2 months, 3 months down the line, you may not see anything about a credit card. After about a year, then you begin to see offers that say this credit card has your name on it. Either you're getting it via email or you're getting it via your regular post mail. That is a kind of promotion. They call it promotional credit card offer. It means that based on your FICO score with your bank, they have been able to see that you have run this account nicely and they believe they can open a credit card or offer you a credit card. Now, if you choose to open that credit card based on your FICO score, the moment that credit card is opened in the name of the business, which will typically be linked to you as an individual, the bank in which the credit card account was opened will create a credit report portfolio for that business. Those are some instances where you get lucky. The moment a credit card account is open, whether you have a Dun & Bradstreet account or you do not, automatically a credit report is generated for your business. And that business credit card is going to be lying on your back as the owner of the business. And if anyone here already has a business credit card account, you will notice that it will have your name, your first and last name, and then your business name directly under it. That is telling me or telling you that, well, we granted this credit card to the business. However, it is lying, or we leverage your personal information to be able to grant you this credit card. That way, a credit report is generated for you. Now, that's one. Some banks who do not do business with you does not have your FICO score. So for instance, if you have a bank account with Chase, a Capital One or an American Express does not have access to that information. They will be looking for your public record and the business record to determine whether you are eligible for a credit card or not. Now, this is where it's tricky for you. Your business or your bank that houses your business sees everything that is going on with your account. They are the ones that see that on a monthly basis, you don't do more than $200 or maybe $500. If you are going to grant you credit card, they will most likely grant you a credit card based off of the level of business that you're doing, and then they may be giving you $1,000, $1,500 as credit. And that's because they see exactly what volume of business you're doing. But an American Express or a Capital One will give you or are willing to give you much, much more. However, because they do not have access to the business information, they are limited by what they can use to determine whether you can get the credit or not. This is where Dun & Bradstreet comes in. A Dun & Bradstreet needs you to create a profile for your business where they will ask you for the name of the business, the location of the business, the EIN of the business, what type of business you do, and all of that. And by the time you submit the profile request, maybe within 3 to 5 business days, they will grant you something that is called a DB number, a Dun & Bradstreet number. It's like your credit score number, so to speak. And that is an information that Dun & Bradstreet will keep for you and will be updating as you come along, and they have created your public business profile. And that is something a Capital One or an American Express will leverage to see whether you are eligible for a credit or not. I can tell you this for free. An average credit card amount that you can get from an American Express or a Capital One is between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on the length of time that you have used in the business. Whether you started 3 years ago, you have not done business at all is another question entirely. But sometimes the length of time the business has been in existence also helping you to determine how much you can get. So imagine that you registered your business in 2017, but you haven't done business so much. By the time the business or credit card company is asking you for when the business has been in existence, they don't care whether you've done business or not. They're only asking you for the date the business has been in existence. And that's why I say, even though you are thinking about it right now, register the business, let the length of time, let it start counting for you right now. But I've said so much. let me answer some questions around what I've said so far, and let's move on from there. Questions? Anyone?
What you're actually saying is that even if we're not going to start our business right now, we can go ahead and register the business and put it in a pipeline so that when we need the credit, it will be the years the business has been existing that will determine the amount of credit we're going to get.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's what I tell you. The moment you think about it and you know that you truly want to start a business at some point, that is the time for you to register the business. It will even jeer you more to begin to think about, okay, how soon can I get started? But let the length of time count and work for you. Any other question?
Okay.
BJ, I hope you can talk. Were you able to register your Dun & Bradstreet account?
No, I'm not. I'll take care of it this.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. I want to see if I can pull up my Dun & Bradstreet account for you guys to see, just so that it's not just theoretical. We're trying to, when you're recording, okay.
Sorry, while you're checking that, how soon can one register for that? There was something that was sent into the group. Is that what you mean? I didn't open it because there was the clause of it has to be open for 5 months.
Well, what I meant by that is I wanted someone whose business has been in existence to get to it first. But anyone whose business has been in existence at all is able to register for Dun & Bradstreet. You don't have to wait for 5 months, you have to wait for 10 years before you can do that. You can register your business on Dun & Bradstreet right away.
Oh, awesome.
All right. I think like you said, I was able to get my business credit card, with the bank, like when I opened my business account.
Okay.
So, but for quite some time, I do not have the Bradstreet, whatever.
Bradstreet number, okay.
Yeah, the number. So, but at some point, so the bank actually kind of like contacted me, like that I could actually be able to access it for free with them. So, but I couldn't do that, so I had to go. That was when I had to go, and I did the registration. So you'll be given like 2 options if you want to pay, and get in 7 days or whatever, or if you don't want to pay and wait for 30 days. So I did one of the 2, and I was able to get the number very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no need for you to pay for it. Actually, there's no hurry to it, if you know what I mean. So there's no hurry to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so there's no hurry to it. If your bank is, so for instance, now my bank also allows me to be able to access my credit score, and it was supplied to them by Dun & Bradstreet. I'm going to share something with you right now, and this is an information that cannot go out. This is my own personal account and personal business. So if you all can see my screen. Now, this is big. I was only able to pull this up here because my Bank of America, that houses my business account, granted me credit card. They granted me credit card, and they were able to pull my information directly from Dun & Bradstreet. This is my D number, my Dun & Bradstreet number. Now, what are the levels of credit score numbers? Just the same way personal credit scores have numbers and ratings, the same thing happens to businesses. It ranges from 101 to 670. Okay, and you can see the level, the 580 to 670 is considered low. 530 to 579 is considered low moderate. 481 to 529 is considered moderate. 453 to 480 is considered moderate high, and 101 to 452 is considered high. Now, from the red up onto the green is what you are looking out for. So you want to be as close to green as possible. That is what is going to make your business look credit worthy. Okay, and you can see for Isaac and Philip, it's in the median, 461, which is between moderate high, 453 to 480. That's where Isaac and Philip is. And you can go as much as 670, which is almost impossible, because it's like you're looking for the 800 credit score. I'm not saying no one has 800 credit score, but do you know what it takes for you to get to 800 credit score as on your personal life? So, but if you are between the 650 and the 730, like the way it is in your personal credit score, you are credit worthy. So that's the same way. Thank you, Lai, for sharing that. So as I said, your bank already allows you to be able to, because you have an account with them, they were able to generate your FICO score. And the same way, if you have a personal credit card with your bank, what they are using to determine your eligibility is your FICO score. And you can see that score on your bank account details online, where they can show you what your FICO score is. There's another one that is called Vintage Score. Only a few credit card companies use Vintage Score, but the ones that you want to look out for more is the FICO score that is generated by the bank directly, and then the regular credit score that is managed by the Experian, the TransUnion. Okay. Now, when you are applying for a credit card, you want to make sure that the transactions you're doing on the credit card are equally business-related transactions, because a lot of times we can get excited based on the amount that we're given, and we can think that this is a credit card that we can use to fund our personal lifestyle. It's not a good practice. We want to try as much as possible to ensure that transactions that are meant for businesses are done directly from the bank account, just so that you can look professional. And I tell, maybe I've had 1 or 2 sessions with a few individuals here. If you are not running your business in a way that you are expecting someone to come knocking at your door and saying, I want to buy this business, or I want to buy a partnership in this business, then you need a whole lot more to do. Now, why will I come to you to say I want to partner with you? I'm going to ask for records. I'm not going to give you $500,000. I'm not going to give you $100,000 to partner with you without asking you for the business transactions. I'm going to ask you your bank account information. I want to see how you are personally running the business. And that's why it's important that you're running the business as if you want someone, you're expecting someone to come knocking your door and saying, I want to buy this business. I say jokingly with my wife that Isaac and Philip is a name that is dear to both our hearts. Isaac is the name of my late dad, and Philip is my wife's dad's name. Is still alive. So imagine that someone is coming to me and saying, I want to buy Isaac and Philip. I'll be like, oh, yes, it's dear to me. I'm not going to sell. But trust me, if you give me some $500,000, I'm going to sell the name and go start with another thing. I'm going to sell the name. I'm going to look for another name and start the business all over again. But that is the way I want you to start thinking about this business. And don't sell yourself short. Don't think that you cannot get there. It's a start. You just have to start from somewhere. And trust me, if you do it diligently, someone is always looking. Someone will knock on your door someday and tell you, I want to partner with you. Someone will come to you someday and saying, okay, all right, I see that you're doing fantastic. What do you need? I need line of credit for my business. You cannot get a line of credit if you're not running the business properly. And there are so many organizations right now that are willing to give money to businesses who are run properly. If you want to get a business line of credit now, they're going to ask you for how much business are you doing in a month? 50,000, 25,000, 10,000, $5,000 worth of business. And then they will be able to ask you questions. If you answer them good and correctly, you're golden. You can get rates as low as 2.5% payable back in the next 5 years. Those are good money for small businesses. But you can't get this kind of advantages unless you run this properly like a professional, like you are. Okay? So let me ask, like, have you been able to create the Dun & Bradstreet account?
Yes, that was about 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah,
that's good. So the beauty of Dun & Bradstreet also is that just the same way, if you yourself open a credit card in the name of the business, you will get a notification from Dun & Bradstreet and saying that a credit inquiry.
And the sound went away.
We can't hear you. Hello?
Okay, the sound went away. We couldn't hear you, and then the screen as well.
Same here.
Thanks for sharing that, Lai. Any other question? Sophia, do you have a question? I know you and I have been trying to touch on for the past 2 or 3 days now. And was I able to answer that question about the business credit score?
I don't know what my question was. Hey, y'all. It was probably because the DNB website is a little challenging, but I believe D Divas Braids has a number, but that was my first one. I was not an LLC. So because I'm an LLC, I believe the question I guess today would be, would I make a new account? Like when you do an EIN number, if you're a regular business without your incorporated or without being registered. Once we're registered, I need a new EIN. So because I'm now registered as a business with the state of Illinois, do I need another DNB number? Because I have one, but I have a different name a little too.
So what you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that all the numbers and information tied together, okay? Now, if you have a new business incorporation, right? And you have a new EIN for that new incorporated business, you want to make sure that you create a new Dun & Bradstreet account for that new business, such that the DUNS number will be tied directly to the new business. And that way you have a clean slate of information that ties to each other. Because by the time they're going to be asking you for that information, they will be able to pull the business record directly from Dun & Bradstreet. And if anything does not match, you will be considered not verified, and they may likely either decline or ask you to provide evidence of you owning that business.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. So yeah, I was just listening and taking notes, and then I said, let me try to do it. So it's a little hard, so I need help with it. This is because a long time ago they charged me something, so I don't really know what it was. But I did go to the exact website that says DNB, .com, and then I'm gonna make sure I just register a number. I mean,
what I will advise is don't go for the paid services. Okay. The paid services, I don't want you to run down the business before it kicks up, right? The paid services is what they would typically offer you. you don't need it right now. They will tell you
Right.
that you'll be able to see your credit score, you'll be able to see this, but trust me, the moment you have a credit card initiated for you by your bank, where your business is incorporated or where you open your business bank account, they will generate a business credit score for you. And trust me, they pull this directly from Dun and Bradstreet. So what
Okay.
else do you need from Dun and Bradstreet? So there's no point for you paying them to give you your business credit score when your bank will provide that for you as well. So you don't have to do that. So don't go for any paid services with Dun and Bradstreet as of now. That's my advice for you. You raised your hand again, Sophia, or no?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So our bank, just say I have a business account. So my bank is gonna build me business credit too. Am I understanding it right? Like when you say do not go for a paid service with DNB at this time, I do see a score at the bank, but I don't ever use them because I go to Credit Karma. But my bank, as a personal member of the credit union, shows me a score. But I'm just now like doing a business account. So I think that's just based on my credit score. I think it's
So
say FICA.
FICO. So if
FICA.
you do not have a business credit card right now, then you do not have a business credit score yet.
Got it. Okay.
Now, whatever your bank is showing you right now is FICO score on your personal profile. Okay. Now, before you are able to generate a business credit score, you must have a credit card initiated for you by the bank, at least by the bank that your bank account resides with. I do not advise that you go for a Capital One or an Amex right now until you register your Dun and Bradstreet account, because that is where American Express will pull your information from. So start with your current bank, no matter how little they give you. Another thing that you can leverage is it's easier to get a credit from your bank to start with. And some of them, maybe because you haven't done enough business with them, they are saying they will only be able to give you what they call a secured credit. A secured credit is when they're telling you, okay, how much credit do you want? I want $1,000. Okay, give us $1,000 in lieu of that credit. They will place a lien on the $1,000. They will issue you a credit card for the exact $1,000. And all you're going to be doing is you're going to be turning around that $1,000. But by so doing that, they will have initiated your credit account or your credit profile for the business. And maybe after 1 year, most likely, they will return your $1,000 back to you, most likely keep the $1,000 for you or even increase it to another 1,000 or to 1,500, whichever it is. But that's the way for you to get started with your bank. And yeah, that's one good way to get started. You usually want to start with your bank to at least initiate some credit, after which you can then create your Dun and Bradstreet account, and then we can leverage an American Express or a Capital One. They are very, very good and supportive of businesses. Any other questions or anyone wants to share?
Yes, I want to ask one more thing, please.
Sure, go ahead.
Please, I wanted to confirm, is it okay, but I just want to clarify that. Someone was saying, oh, come and open an account with me. Oh, and I'm like, okay, I have a new business and I would like to. Now, that's Huntington. And I have my business account. I have my personal account with BOA. Now, what would you advise? Go start a new account or just go ahead with my own bank, which I believe will give me a better, as in because of relationship over time.
Because of existing relationship. So yeah, you can have many accounts as much as you want, as long as you can pay the maintenance fee that they charge you on a monthly basis. But what I would most likely advise is, so at Huntington Bank is a good bank because they are the ones that will most likely provide you with line of credit or support your business more. But a Bank of America, being one of the top 5, are the ones that are going to put you there out there more. So each of these banks have their different responsibilities. I'll say to start with, establish your business account, start with Bank of America. One, they're going to leverage your existing relationship with them. They're not going to give you trouble with documentation and all of that. They will be able to create that bank account for you in the name of the business. Now, if and when the business is established, you can choose to go for a Huntington bank account where you can now use your business relationship, start all over with them, and they may be able to help you with business line of credit, because for some reason, and a Bank of America will not give you a business line of credit until you are hitting about $100,000 or $50,000 and more in turnover on a monthly basis. So a Bank of America is not friendly to small business owners or small businesses, whereas a typical Huntington bank will support you more as long as they can see a good turnover on your business. But they both do different things. A Bank of America will be the one to help you establish, and Huntington Bank is a bank that will help you grow.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that information.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Any other question? It's a roundtable. It's time for us to ask our questions. I don't want it to be a class work every time. I want us all to be able to learn from our individual experiences and be able to answer each other's questions.
I don't have a question, but I have a suggestion. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead, please.
Back to the beginning of class, you mentioned like accounting to be your own accountant. And of course, I don't know how many are so new, but I'm just old school. I don't know why I write everything down. But a few small businesses like Mary Kay and Paparazzi, Mary Kay taught me this. You take these envelopes. This is last year's earnings. And when I did my taxes, the lady kept saying, do you got this amount of money in that? I was like, hold on, let me go get the binder. So everything is binder. This is the Mary Kay binder. I got a D Divas binder. You Did It Girl. So Mary Kay, You Did It Girl is my book, my non-for-profit, and D Divas is my hair company. So for all of us, even when I do become a millionaire, like you say, get in the habit of doing it, be a millionaire type of man, you do an envelope the month of, the year in, out, and by the time the lady was asking me all these questions, the receipts were in here because I really never even added them up, y'all. I just hid them in the books. I still ain't here saying, but I was able to pull them out for the taxes. So now I'll learn some QuickBooks, she suggested, and use PayPal because it links in to QuickBooks. I don't know what she's talking about, but she told me to get paid through PayPal. So that was just something I had heard when you started at the beginning of the training with us, to treat our business as if we are millionaires or something.
So it's the same thing. If whatever you're doing right now, honestly, if it's working for you, I'll say you go ahead and continue doing it. However, if you also recall that I mentioned while we were starting, that make sure that all the transactions you're doing originate from your bank account. If you do that, trust me, if you buy gas from Mobil, it's going to show that you bought gas from Mobil. If you bought grocery from Jewel Osco, it's going to show that you bought grocery from Jewel Osco. It may not tell us whether you bought apple bread or apple pie or whatever, but it's going to show that you had gone to Joe Osco and spent $96.57. Now, the receipt in the other way will help you be able to determine what did you buy in Joe Osco on that day that made up the $96.67. Honestly, IRS does not care about that. All IRS is particular about is how did you spend the money that you earned to determine how much is coming to them as taxes. That's all. That's all. So what I'll say, the first step is make sure that all your transactions originate from your bank account. Now, the next step is, if and when you consider yourself established enough, then I'll say it's time for you to go on board on QuickBooks. By the time you onboard yourself on QuickBooks, we will link your bank account directly to QuickBooks, and all the transactions that comes out of your bank account will automatically be posted in QuickBooks. That way, you'll be able to tag the transactions accordingly in all the headings that it needs to go. Quick thing too, QuickBooks also allows you to be able to file your receipts within QuickBooks system. And these are all of the things that we're still going to talk about in our session on 7.5, where we're going to be introducing you to QuickBooks officially. Okay? Any other question? Let's learn from each other. We are learning a lot today because we are all asking questions.
One quick question. I just wanted to clarify. Now, when you said, of course, for us to have our, how did you mention it? Our bank account, you were referring to a business bank account, not our personal bank account, because I already have a credit history with Capital One and stuff already. So I shouldn't go that route at this point, just to go with, well, I would need to start my business account, so to keep my business and personal separate.
Yes, that will be correct. So in order for you to be able to manage your business account properly, I strongly advise that you open a separate bank account for the business.
Okay.
Okay. Now, from what I look at here, every other person here, except for what time is the class, July 7th, it's still going to be the same time, 6:30 p.m. And it will be for an hour and a half as well. It's July 5, sorry, not July 7th. July 5th. It will be 6:30 to 8 p.m. as well. That's when we're going to introduce us to QuickBooks. Okay. Now, I initially wanted to talk about the different kind of business registrations that are available, but I believe we are all past that right now. LLC, DBA, Incorporation, we are all moved past that at this moment. I don't want us going back there, except for maybe Ms. Yinka Ayelabola. Do you have any questions about the type of business that you want to register?
My problem is that I have two things.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking at, and I'm kind of thinking, which one should I do? I was kind of thinking of online business. And
Okay.
then I was kind of thinking of my home care business that
Okay.
I already, have as something that I wish I could do. So I'm kind of in a fix right now. So I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do first?
Okay.
That's where my problem is. But right now, I think I'm deciding to do on that, the home care business. Since you said we can open it, we don't have to start it immediately, Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Another thing that I would like you to learn when it comes to business incorporation is you do not have to register a name for multiple different kind of businesses. All you just want to think through is, what name can I register that I can use for both of the businesses or all the multiple businesses that I want to do? Okay, so now let me take you back to my conversation with Marian.
Okay.
When we were trying to come up with a name. Marian has a business for cosmetics, and she told us all the things that she does. But at the same time, she may have an idea down the line that she probably wants to leverage. Does she have to register another business? The name of the business is Marian E. Miller LLC. The same Marian E. Miller LLC can be the house for that business that you want to do. And all you're just going to do is maybe. So for instance, maybe Marian E. Miller is the name that she's going to be calling so produced by Marian E. Miller. and the name of the product is MEM, M&M, right? Now,
Right.
the incorporation name is Miriam E. Miller LLC. However, one of the products that she's showcasing is M&M,
Okay.
or M&M front store, M&M shop, M&M this. So as long as the name of the business and the name of the product is an offshoot of each other, you are able to leverage the same business name and the same business account. You don't have to register multiple business names if you don't have to.
Okay.
So the work that you need to do now is look for a name that will carry both of them. So for instance, if you, let's say there's a business that already bears this right now, Angel Healthcare Services. Okay. Angel Healthcare Services is what we registered with the state of Illinois, which means we had in mind that we wanted to use it to run a care agency.
Okay.
So let's say you now want to start your online business selling cloth. Okay.
Yeah.
You can still use Angel Clothing,
Okay.
Angel Clothiers, Angel Outfits for your online business. So that way you do not have to register another business to be able to sell the cloth.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is think through it very well. Look for I think you gave us a name sometimes, right? What was that again?
Lilybeth.
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 Lilybeth. Okay. So if you register Lilybeth LLC and or Lilybeth Healthcare Agency LLC or Healthcare LLC, and then you want to start your online shop, what stops you from mailing it Lily Clothing, Lily Clothiers?
Okay, I get it. I get it now.
So don't be constrained with what you can use it to do. What you just want to make sure is that you get something started today. Don't wait. Get the business name on. Every other thing that you'll be doing afterwards will come. And trust me, I am a testament of that.
Okay.
Started with one, and I have several services and products that I'm running right now that I may even be looking to employing people to support me in some aspect of my business right now. And that's because the business name is already established and I'm able to use it to leverage other businesses.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sophia, go for it.
I know you just said it, so I just want to confirm. The D Divas Brazen Beauty Salon on the Run LLC, right? So I want the product line. I don't have to, okay. I know we're gonna get to trade at the end of the course. That's not. So for the product line, because the brand is D Divas, it has the logo, but I want to create a product. So I could use my D Divas, it'll be D Divas Braids and Beauty Hair Care or D Divas Braids Hair Care. It can be that without having to put D Divas, pay for another LLC, because that's the umbrella.
Yes.
So just keep the word D Divas in there, like.
So let me give you an example of what you could do. So Isaac and Philip Consulting, or let me say Isaac and Philip LLC is what I registered with the Illinois Secretary of State. So let's say I want to start a transportation business. I can call it Isaac and Philip Logistics, Isaac and Philip Barber Shop, Isaac and Philip Clothier, Isaac and Philip Motors, Isaac and Philip. That name is registered with the Illinois Secretary of State. I do not have to register. Now, this is where it's going to be tricky. These are the business that you want to do. Does it require a license or permit to be able to run it? That is where you need to make sure that you are taking care of that part of it. But if you do not require a license to be able to do it, all you just need to do is use the same name that was registered and put anything behind it, and you're golden. And it will still, and you can choose to now say, okay, Bank of America, I have an account with you in the name of Miriam E. Miller LLC. This is for my cosmetic business. Now, can you please open another account for me in the same business name, but this time it is only going to be for retail sales, or maybe for my boutique where I sell shoes and shirts. So it's still going to be Marian E LLC to you, to the bank, and to the Illinois Secretary of State. But in the bank, you have a second account, and you know that all the transactions that goes on in that second account is for the boutique, while the one that is in the first is for the cosmetics. And the same way it runs with any other person. Make sure that by the time you're registering the business, use a name that you can coin and use for several other things that you want. As long as you're using something out of that name to incorporate another line of business, it's still considered the same business as far as Illinois Secretary of State is concerned. Okay. Any topic? Does anyone have a topic that you wanted us to touch on? Sophia?
Yes, if your business needs to have a license from the state,
Yes.
What do you need to do? Do you just put in the name and then go ahead and get the license, or you have to get the license before you establish the business, or what do you need to do?
So you do not need a license first to register your business. If you have a business name that you want to incorporate, you can go ahead and register that business name. Now, if you now require a license to be able to operate in the line of business that you're doing, that is when they're not going to ask you. We all need to figure out what agency is managing that licensing process. That's who we're going to apply to. And we're going to tell them, we have a business name. We want to be in the business of this, and we need a license for it. And then they're going to give us all the process. You're probably going to fill out a form. You're going to make some payment, I believe, and then you go to register the business with that agency to be able to get a license out of them. Now, a business that requires license will most likely require some expertise or maybe a certification from you. So imagine you want to run a care agency, home care agency. They will need you to either be a licensed nursing practitioner, or maybe a doctor, or maybe you have someone who is licensed to do that on your team. Because a lot of times you have the flair for it, but you are not a licensed nurse. All they'll need is they need someone who is a licensed nurse to be a member of your team, who is going to sign that I'm going to be working in this business, just to make sure that they are able to apply or grant you that license.
Okay.
Yeah, the same thing, it will go for someone who wants to start a restaurant. If you're going to start a restaurant, you do not need that license to register the name of the business. But by the time you're coming out to say, I want to start a restaurant, they're going to ask you for your chef certificate or license, or maybe they're going to ask you for your food, whatever license or certification, which you have to provide at that point in time before they're able to allow you set up a restaurant. But it doesn't stop you from registering your business name for the purpose of running a food business. But the moment you're coming out to be a restaurant, they will need that license or certification. Sophia, go for it.
I'm sorry if my hand up, I don't have a question. I'm sorry.
I can see that your hand is up. That's okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think we've been able to try. I just wanted to make sure that I touch on because I think about 2 or 3 people have reached out to me regarding business credit score and all of that, how to get it set up. And that was why I decided that was what I'm going to touch on today. I'm still available anytime anyone needs to speak with me individually regarding their particular situations. We can set up time so that we can move on to the next. I want to be able to see Ruth and Marian. Let's move on to the next. We have crossed the hurdle of registering the business. What is the next thing? The next step for us is, okay, how do we launch out the business? Now, I know a lot of people are very wary of social media. I don't want to put my face out there. I don't want to put my name out there. I don't want to do this. In this day and time in the United States, you cannot run away from social media. You cannot.
Oh, man.
You cannot run away from social media. Social media is the bedrock of your business right now. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself walking from building to building trying to sell your product. And trust me, people are not that friendly in this country that they'll open their doors for you to come and tell them about the product, no matter how fantastic it is. So what I'm gonna advise you is, if you don't like social media, you're gonna get warmed up to it right now. You need to get started with it. You need to create your online social media, Facebook, Instagram account where you're gonna be selling your business. You need to understand what it means to tag. You need to understand what it means to boost. And all of this we're gonna be talking about at some point during this session. But social media is your friend. People can use it for the negative reasons, and it can also be used for the positive ones. Sophia, you raised your hand. I think she dropped off. Okay. Hey, Jennifer, nice to have you. Haven't seen you since we started.
Hey, I was responding, but I didn't realize I was on mute.
Go ahead. You were trying to say something.
No, I was responding to you. So you said, "Hey, Jennifer," I was talking back to you, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
okay.
I was just, I have missed a little bit about the difference in the banks. I don't know. You said the Harrington Bank was more about help with building, and then the
Bank of America.
Bank of America was helping get set up. I know, like the business that I'm like focusing on right now is with Great Lakes.
Okay.
And I just
So,
noticed that they had in the option in your in the app where you can look up your credit score. But I did not put the EIN number in there, and I probably should have put the EIN number, and I probably would have got my business FICO score.
okay. So what we were saying earlier was that uh, uh, the top banks, the Citibank, the Bank of America, the Chase Bank, and I think two other banks, they consider them the five big ones. They
Mhm.
are the banks that helps you establish. And when I say they help you establish, the moment you are in good standing with all these 3 to 5 banks, you will most likely be in good standing with any other bank. However, they are not the ones that will typically dole out money to you. They will not give you a $10,000. They will not give you a $20,000 business line of credit unless you are $150,000 and more. However, they can get you established. Whereas a typical Huntington bank, they are the ones that will help you grow. They are looking for businesses. They are small business oriented, and they are the ones that will help you grow your business. They are able to give you personal or business line of credit to be able to get yourself established or to be able to grow your business. And some of the things that they grant you money for, advertisement, they can give you money to buy a truck if you want. They can
Mhm.
give you money to rent, to buy a business location. They can also help you with what we call a recurring business line of credit that allows you to meet certain business expenses on a short-term basis. So
Okay.
they can give you as much as $20,000. Now, it doesn't mean that you are going to access the entire $20,000. It's just going to be there. Now, they will
Mhm.
not charge you any interest on that $20,000 unless you draw from it. The moment you draw $2,000, $3,000 from it, the interest will be charged on the amount that you drew. And they expect that if you draw that money, you pay it back over 3, 4 months at very minimal interest. But that's why I said they are the smaller bank which can help you grow your business. They will
So
help you.
is it Harrison or Harrington?
Huntington. Hunt,
Huntington.
yes, Huntington Bank. Huntington.
I think they bought over TCF.
Yes,
that?
they did. Yeah.
They what?
They bought over TCF.
Oh, they
TCF.
did? Or
Yes.
TFC? Is that TFC or
It's TFC
TCF?
or TCF. I'm not, I just said, I know they bought over another bank.
It's TCF, the bank that usually
Yes.
is in Joel Osco, TCF.
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
yes.
They bought over the TCF bank, yes.
Okay.
So it's Huntington Bank, and they are the banks that would typically help your business grow. Okay,
Did I spell it right? Right here.
HUNTINGTON, Huntington Bank.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it now.
All right, Huntington Bank. Yep,
Thank you.
not a problem. So, and as much as possible, also you don't want to, you don't want to overcapitalize. That's another thing that you need to learn, and it's a lesson for another day. A lot of time, your business can be overcapitalized, which means the business volume is not justifying the credit that you have. It's also not a good thing. Because, so imagine that you have 5 credit cards, right? One is 15,000, one is 2,000, one is 7,000, one is $9,000, and you have a credit all together. You have an aggregate credit of about $28,000. But meanwhile, your business is only doing volume of about $2,000, $3,000 a month to start with. You are overcapitalized. And once a business looks at that, you are the type of people we call seekers. You seek credit. Even though you don't need it, you just want to make sure that you have the card in your possession, you have this much money. They are not typically your money. You have to be wary. You have to be careful of being overcapitalized. If you need, so if you start a business, if you start a credit relationship with a bank, I'll say your personal life, for you to be established, to be able to buy a car, to be able to buy a house, the people are looking for 3 different lines of credit. 3 different lines of credit. That is at least 24 months. You're probably looking at a credit card, a car note, or mortgage. Or let me say a credit card, a car note, or a school loan. It could be 2 credit cards, a car note, or it could be 3 credit cards. What they are looking for is a minimum of 3 lines of credit to consider you established, and they have to be in good standing. If after you have 3 lines of business credit, I'll tell you that any other credit card you want to take, let it be on the business side. The good thing about business credit card is it is not reporting to your personal credit score or your personal credit profile. So if and when anyone is trying to run your credit to see whether you're eligible for whatever it is that you're trying to buy, the business credit card or your business credit line does not show on your personal credit. So that's a good thing for you. But the thing is this, if you go delinquent on a business credit line or business credit card, and it goes for up to 6 months, it will be dumped into your personal credit as a delinquent account. So you do not want that to happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, Sophia, I think you're back, right? She said her phone died. We got you. We got it recorded so you can meet up with whatever you missed. But
No problem.
please make sure that you don't overcapitalize yourself. Make sure that if you have at least 3 lines of credit in your personal life, it's more than enough. If you have 4, you're still fine. Don't go beyond 4, 5, 6, 7. Just because they are approving you does not mean it's a good thing. You want to make sure that you limit your exposure. After you establish 3 to 4 lines of credit on your personal life, switch to business. You can have another 3 or 4 lines of credit on the business side. It doesn't get reported to your personal credit profile because it's the business. Even though the credit card will be granted, based on your person, by the time it's approved, it doesn't get reported to your personal credit profile.
I want to ask a question. Is it okay to close certain lines of credit?
Yes, you can close a business, you can close a line of credit as long as you bring it to zero. So make sure that the credit balance is zero, and all you're just saying is closed by customer, period. Now, it may affect your personal credit score. If it's a personal credit card, it may affect you slightly because whatever it is that you have gained with that credit card will be taken away from your credit score. That's what it means.
Okay.
Everything that you have gained by owning that credit card will be taken away. It's not going to count for you again. And when I say you're going to lose something, maybe you're going to lose about 3 to 5 points. But the good thing about it is, rather than close it, if your intention is to keep it at zero, take it to zero and keep the card. It's still going to be counting for you as a good account, but you will not use it any longer, and it's a zero balance.
Okay.
Okay, so I have another question. Thank you for that. I had a credit that I kept in zero. I only used it briefly just to keep it active, and kept it at zero, and it was closed.
Yes, it can. If it was closed based on that, it's a good thing, because they consider it dormant, and you're not using it, and they decided to close it down for you. I do not believe that will affect your credit score. If it did, you can dispute it, but that usually will not affect your credit score because you had a good standing, you just chose not to use the card any longer. And that's fine. That's fine. If you didn't want to lose the card, if you didn't want to lose the card, after every 90 days, just charge $5 or $10 to it, pay it back after 1 month, it will recoup you, it will recharge again for the next 90 to 180 days. But if you don't want it anymore, you can just leave it until the, but if you just want to keep it for rainy days, after 90 days, charge a $10, just charge a bill to it, a bill that you know that you have the money for. Charge it to it. When it's about due time, pay it back to zero, you are recharged again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, we have 4 more minutes to go. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so as we, happy birthday to Bolaji again. Congratulations on your birthday. We wish you well, and the Almighty God will bless you. The Own Your Own Corporation.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. The Own Your Own Corporation books are in the mail right now. Once they arrive and I see that they are good, I will make it available to Marian and Ginka. 7-5 session, please endeavor to attend. I'm going to send out the communication out shortly. We're going to be introduced to QuickBooks, a platform that we'll all be able to use to be able to manage our businesses. Go ahead, Balaji.
Sorry to continue. Can you send a link to get that book you recommended?
Yes, if anyone has the link, please share. No, that's fine. If anyone has that link, kindly share with Bolaji in the group. If not, I will get it and share it with him as well. Also, this I'm going to say when I stop recording, but if no one has any other question, I'll go ahead and stop recording right now. Is that okay? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you all.